Welcome to Learning to Code with Scratch, the Scratch Toolbox Series, brought to you by Robotics. Hey everybody, Lego Man Dan here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Scratch code again, and what I want to do with you guys today is I want to take you through building a game using some of the tools that we have already used in our Scratch Toolbox tutorial. So I know clicker games are a lot of fun. I thought it would be kind of a neat way to introduce some of the different code, kind of compile it together, add a few new things like broadcast messages and some of those things, so you guys can just kind of get a little bit more in your toolbox, but see how it can be played in a game. So today what I want to do, go ahead and I want to build a clicker game that you guys can click, get some score, have a little fun with. Obviously, I've already got the Scratch app set up. The Toolbox series kind of is a building blocks of how to be able to create your own games. If you landed on this page, but you really kind of want to learn everything from the beginning, go back and watch episodes 1 through 7. That will kind of get you to the point where we are. If you just want to build a clicker game, then go ahead and listen. But I would strongly encourage you to go back, watch all the videos in the series. Make sure too, if you like what you see here, follow us, like, subscribe, click that notification button. You guys will get more and more content from us regarding coding, regarding robotics, all kinds of fun stuff. We've got Lego videos coming soon, so a lot of really cool stuff. First thing we're going to do, we have the app open, obviously. We're going to go ahead and get rid of Sprite Cat here because we don't need him for this activity. We are going to go ahead and create our own sprite, and I'm just going to do a little cookie as ours. You could do anything you want. You could grab something if you wanted to click an alien or a robot or something, but I just think a cookie clicker is kind of fun. So let's go ahead and create one. We're going to go over here to choose a sprite. We're going to go up and click on our paintbrush. That's going to open up our canvas. We're going to go over here, grab our circle. I'm going to set the outline. Actually, we're going to turn that outline off because I just want a pure cookie. And I want my cookie to be brown, so I'm going to go over here to the yellows, kind of get in here with the red a little bit, do a full saturation, and then make the color nice and brown. And there we go. We end up with a nice, deep, dark cookie. We can always make it a little lighter, a little darker. I want my cookie to have chocolate chips. So next thing we're going to do is go to our fill, set our brightness. Whoop, no, I don't want to do that for the cookie. Keep my cookie there. There we go. All right, then I got to click off the cookie because the cookie is done. Then I go back and click the circle, set my fill to 0, and then I can come over here and drop some nice, yummy chocolate chips in there. There we go. Kind of, that one's a little weird. I don't really like it, so we're going to erase that one. And then we're going to use our fill. And again, if you've used the paint before, you can go in and use the fill. Set the color to match by clicking this little eyedropper. We can go over here, find some brown. I get my brown back. Then I can go into fill, boom, fill them up. Go back to all black, go back to my circle, and then we'll put one more chocolate chip in there. And then we got a nice little chocolate chip cookie here that we'll be able to click on, and then we'll go build our code. So now that we've got our cookie, once you've got your cookie kind of the way you want it, go back over here to the code, and that's where we'll start building the code. First thing we're going to do is we want to be able to keep score in our game. So I want to go over here to the variables. If you remember when we created score, you just go to variables, click make a variable, and I'm going to call this one points. Every time we click the cookie, we get a point. So go ahead and click points. Now I've got my little scoreboard up here. Then we're going to go to events. When the green flag is clicked, so when our start is clicked, we want to set our points to 0. So we're going to go to variables. We're going to grab set my variable, change it to points, set my variable to 0 to start the game. Now, everything we want to do in the game is going to be done by an event called when sprite clicked. So we're going to go to events. We're going to grab the block that says when sprite clicked. We're going to bring it over here, put it into our code emulator. And I also want a sound every time we click. So I'm going to go over here to sounds, and I'm just going to use the sound pop. Now, if we use the block play sound pop until done, whatever sound we put in here, nothing will happen until the sound is done. So for our game, we don't really care if the sound finishes. we can have pops loading on top of each other. So I'm going to just grab start sound. There, anytime I click on my cookie, I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. I'll turn my volume all the way up. And every time I click my mouse, you hear the pop. So I want that code in there every time we click. And you could change it to a different sound. If you went over to sounds, you could go down, search for a sound, change it from pop to something else. We're going to leave it as pop for today. But again, one of the great things about Scratch is there's tons of sounds, tons of different things. You can change this. I'm going to show you one way to do a clicker game. There's probably about 50 different ways. So one of the things I'd love you to do is in the comments section below, after you build this, if you change it in any way, go back and give me a comment. Tell me what you did differently. Is there a way I could make the game better in your eyes? I'd love to hear from you guys, hear what you guys are doing in your games. Maybe I find a way, take something you taught me, I make it into a video. So go ahead and comment if you did something different that you thought was really cool and you want to share with me. So we've got our start pop sound. We've got everything going for our code. Next thing we want to do, we want to make sure we can change the points every time we click on the cookie. So again, we go back to variables. We grab the change my variable by, add that in, change the variable to points. Now you can assign points any way you want. We're just going to do 1 point for this game every time we click the cookie. And I'll show you a way to kind of up that number as you go on and on. And there's some other fun stuff that we can do. But if you see I'm clicking on it, you hear the pop, and every time I click, it changes by 1. But nothing really happens. I'm just kind of clicking it, and my score is going up. And I know in these clicker games a lot, there's reactive. Stars go flying or things explode, whatever. So what we'll do in this game is we'll just have the cookie blow up. Kind of get a little bigger, get a little smaller, get a little bigger. Okay? And the way we're going to do that is we're going to set the size. So when we click, we're going to go ahead and click this looks, and I'm going to have it change size by 10. So I'm going to have it grow by 10. So if you watch now, but if I keep clicking on it, it just gets bigger and bigger. And it gets to the point where it fills the whole screen. So we don't want to just change the size. We need to make sure the size goes back. Okay, so just for our code, I'm going to go over here to size, reset to 100%. We've got change size by 10. So again, you saw it get a little bigger, but we got to make sure it goes smaller again. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into our controls. We're going to grab a wait 1 second, but we're going to change that to 0.05, right? So 1/2 of 1/10 of 1 second, right? Just barely enough for your finger to be able to react. Then we're going to go to looks, grab another change size by 10, but this time we're going to make it -10. So we grow, we wait, and then we shrink. And now when I go over here and I look, now it looks like that cookie's actually getting clipped, right? It's going up, going up, going up. You can see points keep climbing. I'm going to stop, click 0, do that again. There it goes. We're going to change size. Now, one of the last things I want to show you is an event called a broadcast message. So at the end of my code, I can send a message, or at any point in my code, I can send a message to tell the code to do something else. And the way we're going to do that is in our events, we're going to go down here to where it says broadcast message 1. So it is possible, the way we've done the code, you could actually get the cookie to expand if you can click fast enough. So what I want to do here is I want to send a broadcast message to make sure after the size goes down, it definitely resets to 1. It's just sort of put a help in there, and then I'm going to introduce some code to say, after this broadcast message is sent, check to see if our score is at a certain point, and if it is, start upping the numbers. So again, we added our broadcast message here. We're going to go over here to our events and grab when I receive message 1. And you can see we can make tons of new messages. We can have unlimited messages. But right now we only need 1. So when I receive message 1, go to the looks, set my cookie size to 100%. Okay, so I want to make sure the cookie's always at 100%. Again, if you can click fast enough, or there's ways to cheat around this to make the cookie expand again by changing and lowering the size. So I'm going to send a message saying, no matter what anybody tries to cheat my game, after it shrinks, we check, make sure it's at 100%. Finally, I want to throw a little in here to let the score become bigger. So after I get to 10 points, I want to make the score twice as fast. So we're going to use something called an if-then statement. And if you remember when we did if-then statements are simply questions. If this happens, then this happens. So we're going to go over here to our controls. We're going to grab our if-then statement. And the question we're going to be asking is, if the score is greater than 10, make the points change by 2. So we grab our if-then statement in here, and I'll make this a little bigger so it's a little easier to see. Okay, we're going to go to the operators, and we're going to grab the greater than symbol. If the points are greater than 10, so we're going to grab that, change that to 10, but I need to say points in here. So I go to variables, and you see there's a little variable, and as long as the shapes are the same, it goes right in there. Okay, so if points are greater than 10, change my variable points by 2. Okay, so what's happening now is every time it runs through this loop, it's asking that question. Are the points 10? No, keep it, go back here. Once the points are greater than 10, it'll start changing them by 2 every time. So watch, we're going to go ahead and stop. We'll go ahead and start. So you can see on the screen, actually, I'll make it nice and big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now that I'm at 10, the next one should be 12. Whoop. Oh, it's going by 3 because it's adding 2 every time. That's right. So hold on, let's go back out of there. Change points by 1. Okay, stop, start. Let's try that again. I'll go full screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, so you can see it's now adding more scores. I can actually do that again. So if I copy this code, just click duplicate there, add it to the bottom. If the score is 20, let's add another point. So let's try it again. Let's see if that works. Okay, we'll go full screen. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now this should go 12. We get to 20. Now it should go to 23, 26, 29. And you can keep adding those if-then statements in there to do even more and more clicks. So again, in this lesson, we kind of went through how to do a broadcast. We started to add some operators to do some math, ask some questions. We did some art. We added sound. So we're kind of seeing how this whole toolbox kind of comes together to help you build some really cool games. Like I said, if you have an idea or something you see in the code, comment below. Tell me what you did differently. I'd love to try some of your ideas and see some different ways to do stuff. Thank you for tuning in. Comment below if there's something you would like to see us add to the series. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you can keep up on all our latest coding and robotics videos.